So yeah. So the cop was behind us and get the fuck out of the car. And I jumped up and I was doing all that. And the cop was came closer. Kristen went in and got out of the car. Matt was still somewhat in the car. He was slowly kind of creeping his way out into the hood. And the cops standing there going, "Which one of you is the runaway?" And I was like, that would probably be me. My mom probably called me in as a runaway, and she did. She had every reason to. So I'm standing there, and he's like, "All right, and he's like, "Don't move." And I was like, "Hey, dude, I ain't moving for nothing." And he said, "Go ahead and put your hands on your head." And I'm standing there like, "Oh, great, great." He hooks me up. I got the handcuffs on me. Kristen's got her hands on top of the hard top and everything, and I can just see this little shimmer out of the corner of my eye, and it's Matt, and his fat ass ended up started booking it down the sand, and the cop's in there and dragging me with them, and I'm sitting there with my hands behind my back. He's dragging me, and I'm going, "Hey, I can feel that, hey!" And he's like, "Fuck!" And he called it on the radio and everything. And apparently Matt he just took off like a bat out of hell. And Matt weighed like 300 pounds. So him running down the beach was like a beached whale trying to swim on sand and somehow miraculously doing it. But from what I ended up hearing later on is that people were coming out of their house. Cops were trying to get him, and people were sitting there running and tackling him, and somehow he got away. He told us before we got out of the car. He said, if the cops hadn't asked anything about me, if I happen to end up booking it, whatever, tell them that I went over to the pier and that I was going to commit suicide. So me and Kristen went ahead and did that. Um, we told him that, and the cop came back to the car and was like, "Hey, what's the green stuff on the floor and on the floorboard?" And I was like, it's grass. It was weird, but um, Bryce and Trina ended up coming back to the car. They ended up getting hooked up too, and the four of us ended up being held at the juvenile detention center over in Morro Bay. Um, Me and Trina were put into a separate room. We were too tired and too scared of our parents to really stay awake anymore. And Kristen and Bryce ended up being left in a detention cell, by themselves. Um, the cops in Morbe were nice enough to go ahead and give us something to eat. If I was them, I probably wouldn't have given me shit. Um, but whatever. I can hear Bryce and Trina in the next room laughing, giggling. Apparently, they decided to start a food fight between each other. They're sitting there throwing stuff. Can you believe that? In a fucking detention center, and they're throwing food at each other, like as if it's a grand old time, and they're just on a paid vacation. You know. But here's the kicker: my parents came to pick me up, right? My mom heard Kristen laughing, and ended up going over to her detention cell. And you feel better? And she peeked her head into the cell, and she's like, "Sherilyn Ramirez, stop fuck!" Oh, sorry, Kristen. And started to go in and chew her out. But then after saying sorry, she ended up chewing her out again. Continued chewing her out. "You shouldn't be doing that. You got my daughter in trouble." Da da da. Ripped her a new one. Yeah. So yeah, but the oil to the car was in the trunk. The key to the trunk, as I said, was on my parents' keyring. So the car backfired a little bit when my dad was driving it back home. Um, Needless to say, I got grounded for a week. Grounded for a week for stealing a car is, you know, it is you know, light, yes, but the shit that I had to do for that week fucking made up for it. I had to clean out the car inside and out, detail it, wax it, spit shine it, whatever the fuck. I had to somehow prune the palm trees that were in front of our house, and that may be a slight exaggeration, but you know, hey. I had to pull the weeds on both sides of the fence. I had to clean my brother's room, I think. I had to clean my room. I was forever indebted to my grandparents. I did everything I could to possibly get my grades back up and be on good behavior. Um, I was definitely in a shitstorm at school because of it. Um, but for the next year, I was 15 at the time. For the next year, I was on good behavior. Kristen and I weren't allowed to hang out a whole lot since, you know, after that. Um, but you know, we would go ahead and at least say hi to each other when we could. Um, Either that, or we would go ahead and flick our porch lights back and forth just to at least, you know, acknowledge each other, let each other know that we were still alive. Either that, or she would prank call me, and I'd end up prank calling her. That was always fun times. Not really, but yeah. But the day of my 16th birthday, the one thing happened that I honestly never thought would happen, and you know, yeah, I ended up getting the title to the same Mustang that a year before that I stole from my grandparents. My grandparents turned around and gave it to me. They gave it to me and said, you know what? Yeah, you messed up, but you're a good kid, you know, and we know that you love this car and we know that you'll take care of it. But I was absolutely surprised. I was absolutely surprised. Would you have done that? If your grandchild stole your car from you, would you turn around and give it to them a year later for their 16th birthday? No. So yeah, but other than that, you know, from then on, um, you know, I actively went ahead and took what I think to be proper steps to go ahead and get my life in order. And I went to Sacramento Job Corps, took security investigations there, completed as C completer, which is second highest C complete as. Still came home and made my family proud, and you know, even Kristen was proud of me for you know, trying to achieve as much as I could back there. But yeah, that's it for now. But yeah. So Hammy, if you're watching this, no more stealing cars, okay? And tell your husband that he's kind of got to get fixed, because you have what, 7,000 kids now. You can run your own orphanage. I'm joking. She doesn't have that many, but close. But yeah, still don't like that penis wrinkle. But anyways, he's your husband, not mine, thank God. Anyways, yep. Talk to y'all later. Bye.